welcome to a new vlog. And this week is basically all about trying to get back into my routines because I have had no routines for months and now we're getting back to it. So this morning the wake up was a bit rough because I didn't really have a very good night's sleep and I had a Pilates class booked at 7:40 and I wanted to leave a little bit earlier because there has been a lot of snow the past few days and the Netherlands usually doesn't have a lot of snow. So the whole country is basically disabled because the trains aren't going and like flights aren't going and everything. It's kind of funny when you're not like having to deal with all of that. I walked back from Pilates and honestly it started snowing and I have not realized that I actually quite like winter. Like I love snow. It's just so cozy and I don't know, I've been really loving the snowy weather. I think I'm gonna go for like a lunch walk later. As I said, I want to focus on some routines this week. I actually luckily don't have that much work to do this week because obviously I plan my own work, and because of the Christmas break we kind of had a break and now we're just starting everything back up. But I need to plan and think about everything that I have to do, but I think I'm gonna plan for that tonight. So today I don't have that much on my to-do list, so I think I'm gonna make a coffee and just get all of my to-dos out of the way, so that's done. And then I also need to edit a YouTube video today, which is quite a big task, so I think it's gonna be nice if I get my to-dos out of the way and then I can just focus on editing for the rest of the day and also my routines, because I really want to get walking in my routine, but I feel like it's a little bit harder. I mean, it's not harder because I'm self-employed, because that does give me the freedom to be able to go for a walk during the day, because last year sometimes we would go for like a walk at like 6:30 a.m. together. And that would be so nice because you start a day with a walk and you already had like pretty much most of your movement right when you wake up, so you don't have to actually think about it anymore for the rest of the day. But I have been having a little bit of trouble, first of all, getting out of bed in the morning, but also I don't really like going for a walk in the dark. So now if you wake up at like 6:30, it's obviously still dark. So I don't know, the walking in the morning just isn't it for me, and at night I just don't really want to have to do anything anymore, so I also don't really like postponing it until like later at night, but I do want to get my steps in. So currently my favorite thing to do is to go for a long walk like in the middle of the day, but that's also not really nice because I have a bit of trouble focusing on work after that because you've been out of it for a while, so it's kind of hard to still focus for the rest of the day. So I don't know how I'm gonna get walking like in my actual routine, but when spring is coming it's probably gonna be a lot easier because I can just go right when I wake up because it's not gonna be as dark anymore. But right now the steps is a little bit hard to get into my daily routine, but the sun is shining and there's snow, so I think I'm gonna go for like a lunch walk today, especially because I don't really have that much to do. And I think the biggest routine for this week is basically to wake up earlier again. So I think I want to aim for like a 6:30 wake up. I feel like that's quite reasonable for me right now. Well, it's gonna be really hard, but like 6 a.m. is probably not going to be realistic for me right now because I'm just not going to get up. The only exception is when I go into the office because then I'm waking up at 5:30, which is not great. But then I'm taking the 6:30 train, so I have to wake up earlier because otherwise I'm not gonna make the train. Yeah, I'm just gonna take you along in my routines this week, show you what I'm doing and how I'm feeling about it, because we've been trying to charge our phones not in the bedroom. So this morning when I woke up, and also yesterday when I woke up, I started immediately reading because my phone isn't in the bedroom, and I do already notice a difference in like calmness during the day because you don't start your day with just scrolling on your phone, which used to be a big thing for me. And I don't know, there's just something calming about it. And obviously also at night when you don't have your phone you can do something else like reading or just chatting if Job's here, but you wasn't here last night because of the snow. I do really think this is gonna make a big difference in my routines. Let's go make a coffee. I just made a coffee. I really like this mug actually. It's from our cat and it's very simple but very cute. And I usually try and not work from the bed, which honestly I don't do very often, but sometimes you just can't always be motivated. And I feel like this might not be super relatable for everyone because obviously not everyone is self-employed, but no one is gonna say anything if I work from my bed all day. I know that it's not good, which is why I try not to do it too often, which I honestly don't, but today is just one of those days. And that is one thing that is going to be relatable for everyone, because you're just not going to be motivated every single day to do things. Like, even if it's about work, you're not going to be motivated every single day. And that's why consistency and routines is so important, because you do need some discipline to do workouts and getting steps in and working and just everything. You just basically need discipline for anything in your life. But I do notice that lately I've been missing a little bit of structure in my days, and I think it also has a lot to do with that I just don't really know what I want with my life recently. Like, I don't know what direction I want to go in. I don't know what I want to do for work. I don't really know what I'm good at or what I actually enjoy. Like, obviously I absolutely love making YouTube videos, but that's not my job. Like, first of all, it doesn't really feel like an actual job, and then also it is literally not a job because I can't pay for things with my YouTube channel, you know? So I'm just struggling a lot with not knowing what I want to do with my life, and I feel like that is something that is very relatable if you're in your 20s. But honestly, all of that just makes me overthink every single little thing, and I kind of need more structure in my days, but I also just need to figure out what I want. It's not that there's so much pressure on it, because on the one side, I'm very lucky that I have the freedom to be able to figure out what I want. Like, obviously, I earn less money if I work less, but I feel like I do kind of need the time to figure things out. I've also been home alone the past few days, which is probably also not really working for my productivity, because I feel like if Job's home and we both work from the dining table, we can just make each other coffee and we can just chat. Especially if you work from home 4 out of 5 days of the week, you kind of just sometimes go crazy, and then you just lose your motivation and productivity, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. So I do try to work from cafes more often, but I also don't want to do that every single day, because obviously it costs money and I can easily make coffee at home. So I try to do it more often, but not too much. I do feel like it's just hard if you genuinely don't know what you're doing and like want to do. And I know I'm not the only one with this, but also no one can really help me because no one knows what I enjoy doing or what I'm good at. So it's kind of like this weird feeling the past few months that you just don't really know what direction you're going in, and it's fine, but it's also frustrating. So thanks for listening to my little ramble that probably not everyone is going to care about, but I just wanted to share because I do feel like there's probably some people at least in the same situation. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the rest of my to-dos.
First time I saw Joey, he was looking at the stars. He said to me, ain't it funny how of all of them we're right where we are? I heard Joey's out there staring down the barrel of a gun. I said, the stars are still shining, Joey. He said, life's no fun. Oh, I worry for you, Joey, and your mom, she's all...
I am going on a run right now, and it's actually snowing pretty hard right now. I do feel like it's kind of a vibe to go for a run in the snow, but I also fear that it's gonna be really cold. But my run's not very long, so I think I'm gonna be fine. This is actually probably like the second time or third time that I'm even running on these shoes. Like, I got new running shoes and then just never ran again because I was still having this issue with my shins, but I went to see a physio again, and previously they told me that it was from over exercising, but now this physio said that that was never the case, but my right calf just doesn't have enough strength. So I'm doing exercises for that every day to make my right calf stronger, so hopefully the pain in my shins will stop. So I wanted to start my running back up from zero. So I have always wanted to try out Runna, like the running app, but it is honestly so expensive, and honestly I don't need a class pass and a running membership, so I never got around to doing it. But they do have a couple of free plans, and one of them is called like Road Back to Running or Get Back into Running, something like that, and that's the one that I want to follow because I think it's going to guide me to running a 5k in like 6 or 7 weeks, and I'm just going to do a very slow, chilled pace to hopefully just slowly get back into the routine of running. I was very excited because I have been excited for this run for literally 2 weeks, and now that I actually am going on it, I'm like, I am not excited at all. I'm curious about using Rana, and it's snowing, and on the one side, to me that's very exciting because I love snow, but it's cold and I'm just not very motivated to go on a run right now. But I am doing it, so I'm gonna go put on my shoes and put my hair up, and I think the plan says I only have to do 4 times 500 meters, so it's a 2-kilometer run, and then with walking breaks in between, so I guess we're gonna be fine. I have to see about the snow though, because it's currently snowing really hard. But yeah, let's go on a run. I just spent a few more hours behind my laptop in my robe because I couldn't be bothered changing, but right now I want to make a snack. I have been seeing this everywhere for the past few years, but I never liked dates. Actually, I didn't know if I liked them, I just never had them. But a few weeks ago we made these chocolate covered dates and they were actually better than I was ever expecting. So I went to the supermarket and I got some Milou dates, if that's how you pronounce it, and some pure chocolate. The other time we made it with peanut butter, but we were basically out of peanut butter, and I am actually obsessed with peanut butter, but Yelp isn't really, so I really want to try almond butter because I feel like that's also gonna be insanely good. You honestly don't want to know the price of this jar, so it better be good. And lastly I got some sea salt flakes because I feel like sprinkling this on top is just gonna make it taste even better. So that's what I'm gonna make right now. The run was actually quite easy, if I can say that, because it didn't feel like I was actually running because it was only like 500 meters every time, so it went by super quick. The walking breaks were freezing in this weather. Like, I was actually really cold during the walking breaks, and with the running it was fine, but it was only 500 meters, so I wouldn't really get very warm, so it was a bit cold. And I was actually supposed to do a hot Pilates class also today, which I am very much aware was in the first place not a good idea, but I had so many ClassPass credits because I basically didn't work out for the past month and I had so many credits left, and I had no other day this week that I could use them because all of the classes that I wanted to go to Saturday morning were not available. So I just booked the hot Pilates and I felt like it'd be kind of fine because the run wasn't very intense. But last night a spot for Core 40 opened up on Saturday morning, so I felt like that'd be a better idea and I could still cancel on the hot Pilates. And now that we're here, I just got this package in the mail. Up front is a Dutch brand that kind of focuses on unprocessed food, and basically they're being very upfront about their ingredients, and they had a huge sale this week. So we wanted to take advantage of that because I have a few things that I have been wanting to try out recently. So you wanted to try the vanilla flavor powder to put in like yogurt. We got a little box of protein bars. We usually don't eat these very often, but it's just nice to have in the house because you can just grab them easily if you have to go somewhere and you just don't have time to make food. Okay, what I was dying to try out are these protein oats in the flavor roasted pecan. I don't know why, but this flavor just sounds insanely good to me, so I really want to try this one. And I feel like this breakfast is just gonna save my life when I go into the office because it's just so simple and easy to put together. And last but not least, we got one of the normal vanilla protein powder, which we do use regularly, but we just thought we'd stock up on one because they obviously had a sale. Yeah, I'm excited to make this snack because I've been craving it for the past few days, and then I need to finish up a few more things for work and then we can just chill for the rest of the night.